Yeah, I've always said that I wish they had kind of communicated to me a little better about the Montreal deal. Maybe we could have done something differently with me, but yeah, it is what it is.
So my question for that is, let's say the Montreal Screwjob doesn't happen.
Okay.
Let's say Brett goes over like he wanted to. Do you think Brett does the right thing the next day?
I don't know. I don't know. I know Brett was really he was bitter about it. Brett didn't want to leave.
Yeah.
It was a money deal. And
Yeah.
He'd been a loyal soldier, man. So there were so many feelings. Everybody was just tapped out on the whole thing. I don't know, man. I don't know that it's. You walk out. I don't know. Maybe he would have, but it doesn't.
You can't take that chance.
You cannot, absolutely zero way can you take the chance. I will say that he probably would have. I'm going to say he probably would have gone on TV and dropped it. No, not dropped it, but give it away or give it up or vacate it, whatever the word is I'm looking for. But that doesn't do us any good.
Yeah.
We can't have a guy vacate the title and then is going to the other show, and it just doesn't work.
That you guys are in the middle of a heated battle with.
Yeah, I mean it's our competition, so you can't let him vacate the title and then go to the competition, regardless if he didn't want to go or not. He was still going. And that's kind of all part of the whole unfortunate part of the thing. But as mad as I was about it, about the screw job, at the end of the day, I don't know that there was any, at that point, that there was any choice.
Yeah.
They had to do it. And that sucks because, I'm I consider Brett a really good friend, and you hate for something like that to happen, but I know Brett wanted to stay, and it's just it's just one of those situations. Really unfortunate situations. But
and I think what sucks too is with Brett and Sean is the fact that for them to both have the stellar careers that they've had, that's the one question that they probably get more than any other question since it's happened. They probably get asked about the Montreal Screwjob more than anything else.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah. And you've got two guys that, like I said earlier, I consider when it comes to in-ring, it's hard to find two better. It's hard to convince me that there's anybody better than those two. And that's kind of what everybody talks about when it comes to those two.
And that's a shame because they were both they had, like you said, they both had such stellar careers, phenomenal careers, and you get asked about one like a political hit job
and something
kind of a
that
deal.
Both of them aren't very proud of. They're not proud. That wasn't their best moment.
No, why would you be proud of that, right? That sucked, man. I guess it's great for the marks to talk and argue about. That's the only good thing, I guess. I don't know. But I feel bad for Sean and Brett. I mean, I'm friends with both of them. I think the world of both of those guys. And, I'm glad everybody's kind of in a different spot now. But it really sucked that had to happen.
And it sucks, too, because Brett left WWE, goes over to WCW, and you could see on night one, he didn't want to be there.
Yeah, and that may be that if he doesn't get hurt, you never know what happens. But when your heart's not in something like that, it's tough, man.
I think he goes over there, and I think that just looking back on it, you've got a guy that's such a professional, And I mean, just the stories I've heard of WCW during that time, maybe the professionalism wasn't quite there. And I think that was another thing that, I mean, it was, he probably got there and went, oh, geez, this is a freaking circus.
Yeah.
And was like even more frustrated at that point. Like, I'm better than this. And it just seemed like there was just a lot of frustrations.
Oh yeah,
you know, that were built up on him.
How can there not be?
Yeah,
I mean, I'm sure for Brett. I mean, it had to be like, it was like during he was on the Patriots dynasty team, and then he got traded to Washington, right?
Yeah,
I mean, it's like,
oh crap. And then I just think about how many great matches did we miss out on with him and Sean post Montreal, right?
Yeah.
Like, because could you imagine this? Let's say Montreal Screwjob does happen, but Brett's not leaving, and that could you have written a better storyline than that for it to be something to catapult? You want to talk about money?
It would have been, Vince would have been the anti before Austin.
Yeah,
the whole
this is
stuff,
this is a Bret Hart and Austin, or Bret Hart and Vince McMahon's.
I guess everything happens for a reason, but man, it just sucked for. But what a storyline that would have been a great,
that'd
been an awesome storyline.
I mean,
but it was real.
Yeah, like what happened in reality. It's almost where if the pride could have been swallowed at that point, in hindsight, Vince probably should have ran down that hallway and been like, "How much money you want?
Yeah.
let's run this back. Let's do this, and let's go make a ton of money." But you've talked about it before, working with smaller guys and stuff. I think what you and Bret Hart were able to do in the ring was pretty dang special, and it doesn't get talked about as much as it should.
And I don't talk about it, and I really don't. Why? I guess there's just so many the same type questions. But I grew as a talent working with Brett, because he pushed me to limits that I didn't know that I had or that I needed to get to make that character continue to grow. Yeah. And I owe a lot of that to Brett.
Were you and him similar in the sense of, like, I feel like you take professional wrestling very serious. Mm-hmm. Were y'all the same in that, where it was like, I expect everyone in this locker room to go out there and give it the same effort I'm giving, whether you're wrestling the dark match or whether you're in the main event. Everyone's going to give the same effort, and if you don't want to give that effort, you shouldn't be in this locker room.
Yeah, no, absolutely, 100%.
He was that guy too.
Yeah, oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, he took a lot of pride in being a professional wrestler, as did I. And we burnt the midnight oil, but it was never allowed as an excuse for the next day. Yeah, we can go out and we can have fun, and we did. We partied hard, but man, don't let it affect tomorrow, because you're going to get more heat than you want. Yeah. But that's just the way it was then, and everybody. I shouldn't say everybody, but you knew what was expected of you. Yeah. And he set that example. I mean, because he was out too, and I same way. Like, I was out every night, and my crew was out every night. Everybody had to work hard. That was just it. And if you were dogging it, you know what's coming. When you come back through the curtain, you knew what was coming. So you just had to weigh it out. Like, okay, can I run? Can I stay out all night? And can I give my best effort tomorrow? And most guys learned how to do it. So
yeah. Well, I loved watching Brett wrestle, and I can only imagine what it was like to be in the ring with a guy like him. So
this is like, everything made sense. There was not really anything that Brett did that didn't make sense. You'll watch some certain things sometimes, and you'll go, I don't really get what that was. everything that Brett did was setting up the next thing that Brett was going to do.
There's purpose behind everything.
Yeah, there was a purpose behind everything. Every punch thrown, every kick thrown.
That's just next level, in my opinion.
Yeah. Well, it's just it's the art of what it is that we truly do.
Yeah.
And I say it all the time. People get tired of hearing it, but you know, we at our core, what we do is storytell. Wrestling is not about wrestling moves. It's about telling a story, and we use wrestling moves to help tell the story.